Welcome to another fundraising jam session. I'm Brandon Steck, Director of Marketing here for GiveSmart. I'm excited to have Caitlin Wolcott with Ronald McDonald House Charities in the Columbus area, Director of Sponsorship and Events. Caitlin, thank you for joining me. I'm really excited to chat a little bit. We're going to talk about getting the most out of your fundraising software.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Let's jump in. We don't want to waste time. We want to give people the information that they're looking for. So Caitlin, you told me that you guys are running all these great events, seven to eight events a year that you're using software to the max. Can you tell us a little bit about those events and what kinds of events those are?
Sure. We host around 7 to 8 events, like you mentioned, a year. They consist of everything from a golf classic event that has close to 400 people in attendance. It's spread across 4 courses, so logistically can be very difficult, but it is our largest fundraiser that we host during the year. It's also one of the oldest. It'll be its 34th year next year.
Wow.
We also host women events. We have our own handbag hullabaloo event that we created. It's a raffle style game where women can win designer handbags that we host 5 times a year. 3 in Columbus and then 2 in outlying counties, all of which have 200 people at each one. And then we host a women's event at our local shopping center. It's an all-day camping style event. Women come in to get breakfast, lunch, happy hour. They get gifts throughout the day. They have different sessions that they do, like mixology courses and wine tasting, and different things like that. So all different kinds of different demographics in our area, and specifically targeting each one to figure out how to better understand each one and tailor our mission to those groups.
And it was a bunch of silent auctions, different kinds of fundraising components?
Yes, all of our events have a raffle component and a silent auction component. Some of them have a live auction component as well, but all of them consist at least of those 2.
Awesome. And when you're doing those, obviously you're using software, you have a year-round license. What's kind of working for you, and what would you kind of recommend when someone's starting to use technology? Because obviously you guys are seeing success in that.
Yes. It wasn't long ago that we were doing bidding on paper sheets for every one of these events, which is both taxing on the back end for us, but then also as bidders. Some of our events, like the handbag hullabaloo one that I mentioned, we have women sitting at the table the entire time. They don't have time to go up, bid on all these items, look at all the different bid sheets. They do it right there on the table on their phones. We also launch our silent auctions a week before the event. We set them to go live so people can begin bidding a week before the event starts, which has been great. That helps us generate more revenue, but also see where we're sitting going into the event. But we also use our database as a resource. So we might have 200 to 400 attendees at our events, but we actually send the link out to all 17,000 in our database, as well as on our social media pages. So you could be at home bidding from your couch at our event as well, which has helped us generate some more dollars for our families.
I bet that's pretty useful, especially you mentioned your golf events. People who maybe aren't golfers but still want to support, or even if they are golfers, they just couldn't make it. If you have some great golf packages in the auction, they can support you still and maybe even get them out for the next tournament. I'm sure that's a really beneficial way to engage those people that maybe are in and out as well.
Definitely. And even our golfers at the event, we're spread across 4 courses during the day. And the only time that they're together is during the dinner, which is where we have the auctions set up. So having that on their phone is really important to us. Otherwise, we lose hours of time in front of them with these auction packages, and they're only down to maybe an hour window that they could bid if they only saw it at the dinner.
Or if they're leaving early, maybe they couldn't make the dinner. I know I've played in some tournaments with I just played 4 hours of golf. Got to get home to the kids potentially. So that's awesome. That's really a great way to take advantage of a piece of technology. As we look at the type of events that you're doing, it sounds like you have a great variety. You've used your data to kind of target the right segments for the the events that you're running. Can you tell us just 2 recommendations that, as you're thinking about this, to make the most out of your technology?
Yeah, we really try to use our database wisely. So I would suggest anyone who's looking into something like this to don't be afraid to send it to your database. It can really help your auctions. It gets you out there in front of others. It even helps just for the event in general. Somebody might have completely missed the event and had no idea what it was about, but if they're receiving information about it and here's the auction that you can do, they're learning more about the event, and then they might see the raffle prize and the donation page and learn more about your mission. And it's just helping really divulge our mission into our donors and followers. So I think that would be a huge miss if somebody didn't use their database in that way with this technology.
Get as many eyes on it as you can, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. And what would be your second recommendation as you look at this? I mean, there's probably hundreds, right? But, you know, we had one more that we wanted to share with the group.
Yeah, mine's more about the probably back end of it, more on our staff. So the reporting afterwards, the uploading into our database. It's really easy to have our systems talk to each other. And uploading's faster. We only have one person that does it, so it takes up a lot of her time. So this has been really great for her in helping free up some of that time, because it makes the process a lot easier than rifling through paper bidding. Plus, we get a better understanding of who these bidders are. You know, paper bids, sometimes you just end up putting the total amount in, and you know, you can't go through and see this person bid $10, now the next person bid $20, and you don't have this whole history. With the reporting that we have on our technology, we can really see who are our top bidders. Maybe they didn't win, but they bid more than anybody else, and they're really interested in our event and our items, and just being able to see who those people are and captivate that and thank them correctly, and then introduce ourselves to them and invite them down to the house to tour. There's so many great things you can do on these reports just to find out what items worked well, who should be at your events, and are we right in thinking who our top people are. So
Right. I bet you get some cool insights, like maybe I'm at your event and I bid on 5 different items, but I didn't actually win anything. That gives you a good idea of at least what I was willing to spend, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's, you know, you have that instance, you have all these other instances, and you have it in one place, which I'm sure is much easier than, like you said, someone having to pull from many different places for every event and figure it all out. Efficiency. We want to be efficient, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. You know, as we wrap up, these sessions are always fun. I appreciate you jumping on here. Is there any kind of aha moment, or kind of like that when you guys first started using technology, we were like, this is definitely going to help us, or a good story that you'd like to tell that kind of incorporates how you guys have brought technology to your events?
I think the staff sees it more sometimes than maybe our attendees. But we've gotten such great feedback too from our attendees of how easy it was for them to bid, and they like being able just to have it at their fingertips and being able to set auto reminders and kind of set and forget it, that this is the item I want to bid on, here's how much I'll bid, just do it for me. It's less work on our attendees' end, and they get to enjoy the event a little bit more without having to constantly go over and check papers. But I think the staff sees it just from everything of setting up an auction, organizing it, running it, closing it up. It's just so much easier. You're not writing out the bid sheets. You're not, you know, having to write all these long descriptions and how best to paint this picture. And then you're able to share that with your attendees leading up to the event. So it's just a really great thing for our staff. It's helping free up our time, and really being able to focus on other areas of cultivating donors, and thanking them after events, instead of, you know, into the weeds of digging through papers and trying to formulate all of our own research. Stuff. Yeah.
The stuff that keeps you up at night, even though it's gotta get done sometime kind of things. No,
Yeah.
that's awesome, and so glad that you were able to share some of those things. I'm sure we could talk for hours, but I'm gonna end it there. If there's questions, obviously people feel free to reach out to me. My email address is on here. And thanks again, Caitlin, for doing that.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Awesome.